Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Mass. Here we have Rangoon Platoon on Blue-Red Delver versus Team Hertz off on some type of Grixis list. A turn 1 Delver sticks, but does not flip just yet, and a Dreadhorde Arcanist gets Force of Willed as Team Hertz off is trying to kind of stabilize here against this onslaught from Blue-Red Delver. They're able to continue pushing forward now with a Ponder. Hertz is able to shuffle to get a Volcanic Island in response, playing around Stifle, something you need to be very careful of with Blue-Red Delver until you know that they're definitely not playing that card, as it can be a total blowout. 1-mana Stone Rain complements their Wastelands very well, especially when they've already got a Delver of Secrets down, which is very likely to flip here, as this Ponder is going to leave an instant or sorcery on top in a Wasteland, setting Team Hurt off their mana. Forked Bolt, not the most exciting card, particularly in a control matchup, but it is an instant or sorcery, and we are doing 3 damage a turn now. Scalding Tarn. And now Young Pyromancer, a Brainstorm in response. And this could represent a very serious clock. Young Pyromancer gets out of hand very quickly. And a Force of Will. So it looks like a Grixis Delver build versus Blue-Red Delver. Lightning Bolt gets rid of Rangoon Platoon's Delver of Secrets. Nice Chris Rush signed Bolt. Black border. Can't tell if it's FBB or one of the original printings. Coloration kind of looks FBB from here, but tough to tell. And now a Young Pyromancer with Daze backup. Forked Bolt, already knew about that. Daze number 1. He's going to pay the 1. And, ooh, I do not agree with this line. Just a 1-1, so that Daze essentially turned into a 1-1 creature. That Young Pyromancer now another Young Pyromancer coming down. Brazen Borrower gets countered by Daze on the side for Rangoon Platoon. They've got a flipped Delver now, and they cleared this Young Pyromancer out of the way. Right now it's a 1-1 versus a 3-2 flyer. We're talking about a 2-turn clock versus a 16-turn clock. This is not looking good. Three more damage. A Wasteland and a Young Pyromancer now. Brazen Borrower bouncing the Delver. A heads-up play giving Team Hurt just a little window here to potentially get back into it, but no, passing the turn back means this 1-1 eats a Lightning Bolt. And Team Hurt's going to need a miracle. They do not find it, and it is on to game number 2. That Young Pyromancer line into the Forked Bolt. Not a fan of that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Even having another Young Pyromancer in hand doesn't feel fantastic. If you can pass the turn with a Young Pyromancer and have an instant in your hand to respond to the Forked Bolt, you can be in the same exact situation without discarding that Daze, essentially. A whole bunch of cards to consider. This is the finals of the ELD Team Trio Open. One of the crazy things about Team Trio events is you do not have to win a single match all day, and you can still win the tournament. We have seen teammates been carried throughout most of the tournament only to come up with a clutch win in an elimination setting. It is very fun, very dramatic, and just a really cool way to play Magic. This is Pioneer, Modern, and Legacy, and I cannot wait to have another one of these events. I unfortunately do need to wait, as we are in the middle of this COVID-19 situation. At the time of the filming of this video, we still are not sure when we'll be able to get back to running events here. But we are taking the time that we have to improve the website, improve our inventory, doing a lot of sorting, and of course keeping up with the channel here. I appreciate you guys watching. I've been keeping an eye on the numbers. A lot of these videos getting over 500 views now, which is really fun. And we're going to have some incentives to try and get more and more subscribers and views in the coming weeks. And game 2 is off with Team Hertz off, leading on a Scalding Tarn. Not sure what that card at the front of his hand is. It almost looks like a misdirection. We have a Delver of Secrets for Rangoon Platoon, which is exactly what you're looking for out of a Delver deck. The win percentage when you stick that turn 1 Delver versus not is absolutely staggering. A Pyroblast gets him out of the way. And now a Ponder finds at least some mana. A decision here, if that's your only land. Looks like Team Hurt actually going to shuffle it away. Hopefully that's not his only land. He's got a Wasteland from hand, and he thinks about it, and he is going to throw it at that volcanic island. A Wasteland fires back. Oh, and he needs to say go. Basic island for Rangoon Platoon. Along with a Ponder, he may be able to rebuild a mana base very quickly here. Oh, right off the top, we've got a Misty Rainforest. This was going to quickly turn into a non-match, but Misty Rainforest coming to the rescue, allowing Team Hurt to start to manipulate the library a little bit, rebuild their mana base. Very often when similar strategies clash like this, it can turn into a real train wreck. Wasteland decks wastelanding each other out. And a Dreadhorde Arcanist. Brainstorm now for Hertz. And I see a snow basic at the front of the land, at least an island. But this Dreadhorde Arcanist will start digging a grave, not in terms of life total, but in terms of card advantage. And in this type of matchup where 1-for-1 trades can happen at every level on the stack for your mana base, for your creatures, it can really make a huge difference. And Team Hertz able to clear the Dreadhorde Arcanist, only for another one to come out. Basic Mountain now. And another Lightning Bolt. Team Hertz now answers with a Dreadhorde Arcanist of their own, which with these lightning bolts is actually a very dangerous creature. Is going to be able to either draw extra cards or remove whatever Rangoon Platoon tries to build as far as a board presence. Delver of Secrets, Dreadhorde Arcanist, Young Pyromancer, none of them are safe from a lightning bolt. But Rangoon Platoon also has a lightning bolt back. Now for Brainstorm. This is a back and forth match so far, almost like a game of tennis, both players trying to get on the board. A Dreadhorde Arcanist, and we haven't seen any counterspells trying to defend any of these creatures. During the end step, I believe we're going to see a Brazen Borrower bouncing him. That buys a little bit of time. A land played, perhaps signaling a hardcast Force of Will, but no, it's actually a Ponder. I don't love seeing that land played prior to this Ponder. Could have seen a Brainstorm or some reason not to play the land. We've got a Narset, which grabs a Lightning Bolt and is ready to answer this Dreadhorde Arcanist when it comes back down. Pyroblast takes out the Narset before more damage is done. Narset, incredible. Of course, the card advantage is absolutely tremendous. Already got a Lightning Bolt out of it and traded for a Red Blast. If left unchecked, there would have been an additional card in Team Hertzoff's direction. And then it would have stuck around, shutting off all of the cantrips, Brainstorm, Ponder, Preordain, all of them garbage draws when there's a Narset on the other side. And Ponder is exactly what we're seeing here. At least Ponder filters a little bit. Like, you can still play a Ponder underneath a Narset. It's just bad. Brainstorm is catastrophic. Draw 3, put 2 back from your hand is so much worse when it's just draw 0, put 2 back from your hand. Ponder, you would at least get to look. All right, and what do we got here? We've got a little bit of a hidden card issue. So there's some extra information gained. All of the known cards are going to remain in place, and there's going to be a shuffle. There we go. Problem solved. And a Brainstorm. And Brazen Borrower may need to become an answer for this Delver of Secrets. Flashing it in and blocking may be the right line. Ooh, this Lightning Bolt being used. I'm not sure what his answer to Dreadhorde Arcanist is going to be now. Forked Bolt takes out the Delver of Secrets, and a Dreadhorde Arcanist hits the battlefield. Well, he does have a Dreadhorde of his own that he's just drawn. But there's a Lightning Bolt in the bin. I think that Lightning Bolt was an incredibly important card. Dreadhorde swings. And Lightning Bolt clears the Dreadhorde. This is looking really bad for Team Hertzoff. Take your pick is really Dreadhorde Arcanists. All-you-can-eat buffet. There's tons of 1-drops over there. Whatever Rangoon Platoon needs, getting that Dreadhorde active is really turning the corner. Bouncing it back to hand buys a little bit of time. And Rangoon Platoon might actually fight over it. No, he's just going to let it slide. I would have considered Red Elemental blasting there if I had it in hand. It does prevent the Brazen Borrower from coming back later. And Fork Bolt's just going to make short work of this. Rangoon Platoon happy to lose a little bit of life in the short term here. And there's a Lightning Bolt. Hydroblast, Spell Pierce. And Dreadhorde has been handled. What a back and forth game. It looked like Rangoon Platoon was going to be able to stabilize and be in fantastic shape. Now a Lightning Bolt takes out that Brazen Borrow, but another one's just going to be able to come right back in. One card in hand. A True Name Nemesis, one of the more dangerous cards in this matchup. He is not going to be able to be answered easily. True Name on the offensive is pretty much unstoppable in this matchup. In the defensive sense, he can actually be really hindered by the Bone Crusher Giant printing. You can potentially crush an opposing Delver, and then damage won't be prevented to the True Name. But when he's just swinging away, there's not much you can do, as you can't put any creatures in front of him, thanks to the protection. Dual shot, Delver of Secrets. Team Hertz playing off the top. They've got a 5-turn clock. Rangoon Platoon can outrace with the flip. Actually, a 3-turn clock now. They're down to 9. Pyroblast. Looking at 4 untapped islands on the other side. Spell Pierces and Daze is not going to be any help there. Brainstorm now. Interestingly, not brainstorming in response to the Pyroblast. Rangoon Platoon perhaps adamant that they wouldn't be forcing to protect it. $13 life. Quite the buffer here. Preordain. Not the answers that Rangoon Platoon is looking for. Has to pass the turn, and I think we're going to be headed to a game number 3 pretty soon. Brazen Borrower swings in there. Down to 10. Young Pyromancer. Delver of Secrets is killed. Rangoon Platoon down to just 2. A Young Pyromancer for good measure as a blocker. 10. Rangoon Platoon has 6 damage on board. They're going to need some burn directly to the face, and they don't have it, so we're off to game number 3 in a very exciting match so far. All right, here we go. Game 3. Volcanic Island gets wastelanded. Misty Rainforest pass. Team Hertz off does the same. Though they've got a Delver of Secrets in hand. Interesting. Fetch, Fiery Islet, adding to Rangoon Platoon's mana base. And all non-basics right here for Rangoon Platoon. Dreadhorde Arcanus with no cantrips in the graveyard yet. Not the biggest threat in the world here. Unlikely that he has a cantrip in hand unless he drew it for turn, as he would have played it on turn 1. Volcanic Island allows for a Lightning Bolt on Dreadhorde Arcanist, and a Delver of Secrets now committed to the board. Lightning Bolt takes out the Delver. Wasteland clears the Volcanic Island. And a basic island allows for Preordain, and we see the Narset in Team Hertz offhand. That card, very important in this matchup if it can actually stick around, which is a tall order. But man, if it does, those are some of the most lopsided games that you can really have. Your opponent could have 7 cards in hand, all of them bricks, when you've got a Narset out. A Lightning Bolt thrown to the face. That is surprising. Super high value card. Brainstorm and Rangoon Platoon is going to float a mana and daze it. Oof, Team Hertz had the land. That is rough. A 1-for-1 trade made possible by that land drop not being made prior to the Brainstorm. And now a Ponder. Daze in this matchup can be incredibly good. It can also be a total disaster. You kind of counter what you can when you can with Daze. There are a few exceptions to that, but just in general, it does tend to be best to make sure that they actually trade 1-for-1. Brainstorm now. Daze can also become the blue card for Force of Will as the game progresses. Another Scalding Tarn, and now a Dreadhorde Arcanist. And it looks like Team Hertz has a couple of Red Elemental Blasts in hand, which don't really help with this Arcanist problem. Red Blast, a very powerful card in this matchup, hits a lot of the most dangerous things, including True Name Nemesis while it's on the stack. And now Dreadhorde Arcanist of his own, but that's gonna see a Lightning Bolt coming in at it. Young Pyromancer pre-combat, sending, and yeah, this Lightning Bolt. Let's see what Team Hertz has got. A Spell Pierce, but he's got the mana. And he's going to pay it. Of course, making a 1-1 off of the Dreadhorde Arcanist. And Rangoon Platoon firmly in the driver's seat now. That Spell Pierce has been kind of thrown away there. Lightning Bolt actually takes out the Dreadhorde Arcanist. This Fiery Islet can be cashed in for a card, and actually is right away. Rangoon Platoon looking to add board presence. Right now, just 3 damage. Team Hertz fetching. And a Narset with a Red Blast potential backup. That will not stop Rangoon Platoon's Red Blast. It's actually a couple of Pyroblasts in Team Hertz hand. Probably better in this deck. Pyroblast can be played just to get a 1/1 token off of Young Pyromancer. There is a Pyromancer, and that gets Lightning Bolted. He does actually Pyroblast just to make a 1/1, but it's going to be too little too late. It'll hold back the Pyromancer itself, saving 2 damage a turn, but these tokens will fearlessly attack, happy to trade. Brainstorm. Sees some more cantrips. And a Ponder. Shuffling away the 2 that were put back. And that 1 fresh look underneath for a whole new top of the library. It's going to take a lot to come back from here. Slice and Dice would be a card. Young Pyromancer. I'm just rooting for Slice and Dice now. I mean, it'd be the perfect answer to this. Actually blocking one of these tokens, opening up the floodgates for the next turn, and it's a Lightning Bolt that'll actually deal the lethal blow as Rangoon Platoon is crowned champion of the Team Trio ELD Legacy Team Trio Open. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.